Chairman, I want to thank you for calling this very important hearing and bring it back again to the purpose of what our committee is. But first I want to point out that General Scales, the former Commandant of the U.S. Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, is in my district. And the Army War College is a place where our country's greatest military leaders provide their honest feedback about situations like this in Syria. And General Scales, I want to thank you for your honesty today.
And Congressman, I'd also like to mention that Professor Biddle is also a product of the Army War College. And so this is, as I've told you before, this is a national treasure. And in these difficult times, it's something that we as a nation need to preserve.
It absolutely is. In fact, in 2012, the War College did what they call an analytical war game, where military leaders and interagency leaders come together and play out events just like this. And it is truly a treasure for our country. And again, the focus of this committee is national security and keeping Americans safe. You know, as a mayor back in 2006, I stepped on the national stage for a time when I was dealing with the problem of illegal immigration. Hazleton, my hometown, was 2,000 miles away from the nearest southern border. And I talked then about the importance of and Washington's failure of securing our borders. Well, now I'm on a bigger stage and I have a bigger microphone. So I'm going to warn everyone again about the importance of securing our borders, especially when we're dealing with this issue of illegal immigration here. I toured this southern border down in San Diego, and I crawled down a hole 80 feet into the ground. Was a tunnel that the drug cartel had dug 2,500 feet long from Mexico inside a warehouse in the United States. So as we talk about how do we deal with illegal immigration, I think this is very clear. What we need to do is secure our borders first. Keep Americans safe. That's why we have immigration laws. And you said something very profound today, that you were taught, keep the main thing the main thing. It's not that complicated. What I'd like to ask you, General Scales, is how real do you think the possibility? I mean, we know there's a significant presence of Hezbollah in Latin America. We know our borders are open. How real is the possibility of Iran engaging in a retaliation attack in the United States through its Hezbollah proxies in Latin America?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for asking that question, because as the chairman of the committee knows, this is something that I've been obsessed with for many years. One of the problems with the immigration debate in Congress is that it mainly focuses on illegal immigrations and perhaps as a secondary effect, the impact of narcotics crossing our borders. Both of those are very important. But what's missing in the debate, I believe, is the fact that the largest Iranian embassy in the world is in Venezuela. And that the fact that unregistered aliens, I believe, Mr. McCall is the phrase we use now, are crossing the borders in tens and dozens virtually every day from many countries that are not in Central and South America. So if the border is porous, and as we spoke about earlier, a chemical like sarin is something that you could put in a hip flask and get across the border. So the danger of border security goes beyond numbers of people and tons of narcotics. It's really fundamental to the essence of our ability to protect the nation, particularly now that this horrible commodity called sarin has been loosed in the Middle East, and the bar against its use, I would predict, will continue to lower. So, sir, you're spot on. And I'll also suggest to you that while the point of crossing might be Texas or Arizona or New Mexico, the point of impact could very well be Pennsylvania or Montana or New York, because once you're across the border, it's nothing more than an interstate a trip of a couple of days to put this horrible stuff right in the heartland.
Just one final quick question. Do you trust Assad will turn over all of his chemical weapons?
Absolutely not.
Thank you, General.